Hey guys, what's up and welcome to Young Titan World. It's your boy Young Titan over here. I'm just too lazy to show my face on screen because I'm having a bit of a crisis. You know, who people are. And it's like every single person seems to have like a sort of dark side that you don't know. It's not necessarily twisted, but it's a side that you don't know. Right. And that could come with a lot of different features that are so different and so unthinkable, not in a bad sense, but it's like you never perceived of the person that way because of how much they were presenting themselves in front of you. And I'm not saying it kind of is because if you are a friend to someone or if you are in a relationship with someone, shouldn't honesty be the best policy? It's supposed to be, right? But for some reasons, everyone wants to believe that they're entitled to a sense of privacy, that not all secrets should be shared. And I'm thinking, how do I establish a sense of trust with you when you choose to keep things from me? If ignorance is truly bliss, then that should be like it should be bad for me to want to know everything about you, right? Because if I did know more, then I would not be ignorant, I would be concerned. But being concerned, it should be in a better position than being ignorant. Because if anything happens to you based on what kind of life you truly live, I'm not going to be able to help you because I am both ignorant and unable to understand what's going on. And and should that really be a headache you're supposed to put your partner through? I think not, but obviously a lot of people have a different perspective. And honestly, a lot of people want the cloak. They want to hide their true intentions. They're not comfortable with throwing themselves out there and letting it all hang because they know that if they do that, they're either going to be embarrassed or shamed. But is this supposed to be the trend of things? Is this supposed to be the new normal? Do you want to go out your entire life making up these lies that don't really make sense? It's like you're keeping yourself in a box. You're hiding because you're afraid that if you let that person out, they're not going to really accept you. But you have to understand if a person is really meant to be by your side, it wouldn't matter what you show them. At least that's what I thought, But in any case, if you do not show your true self to the person that you may or may not like, it begs the question that your own self identity is in crisis. You don't trust what you are. You don't believe in what you are. You think what you are is something that people are going to hate. And maybe your childhood helped reinforce that. Maybe as you went about your day trying to mind your own business, the bullies made you feel bad and they made you feel worse. And the only way you made yourself feel better is through those activities. And now they've grown up with you and they've transformed into this ugly monster that you can't show anyone else but yourself. And now you're afraid to let people in. Because if you let them in, God forbid they do something good in your life. Because everyone that you've let in has turned out to be a lying, sneaky little devil that has ended up breaking you into more pieces than there are in a freaking jigsaw. So, 1,000 pieces away. But, you know, trusting that you will grow or trusting that you are going to evolve from it should be something that you really look forward to. People don't stay the same forever. Maybe the things that you used to hate in the past are some things that you like now. I don't think that it's wrong. Sometimes we are very good at shielding when we don't want to approach the problem. The problem is that you don't trust them. The problem is that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust who you are with anybody. And sometimes it becomes a real burden when you're around people because as time goes on, you understand how work, and it can be really difficult because let's take a scenario. Supposing you marry a girl, all right? You marry a girl or you marry a guy, and you spend 15 years of your life with this person, but the person in question does not love you. Now, it's it's not that visible. You know, it's not like it's black and white for you to determine. The person is really good at hiding this. They get you lunch when you come back late from work. They rub your knees. They massage you when you're feeling sore. They go on dates with you. They take care of you. They're loving. They're trusting. They do everything. In fact, and more. Or they would go above and beyond to take care of you, but they do not love you. And every time that you are out of the house, they bring a new girl in there to cheat. But you don't know. In those 15 years that they're doing this act of honesty, but hiding it so well, never once does it cross your mind. Let's just assume nothing ever crossed your mind. I know that there are people out there who have so much trust issues that even if they put a ring on it, they want to put chains on it too, so that they can like endorse it. Because nothing says marriage than slavery, right? I'm joking, or am I? I don't know. But it becomes very paramount for you to understand that that they're doing for you is to hide you from the fact that they don't love you. They're doing everything perfectly because they know in their hearts that they don't love you. And people would think that, oh, come on, if someone goes above and beyond, it definitely means that they love you. It just, if they're cheating, it means there's something wrong with you or there's something you're not providing because maybe they're giving everything and you're giving nothing. So they're going to find that thing from someone else. What if it's not like that? What if, even if he did love you, it wouldn't change what he would do, that he would still go out and cheat on you? Because they like have a tendency to be sporadic in who they want to share their genome with, but probably because they know that the only way that they can feel valid in someone's life is if they cause drama. Some people have lived all their life with drama. They hate the boring life. They don't like it when things are stale and cool and everyone is nice in the neighborhood. You have upright You have upright and upstanding wife and husbands. They want the drama. They want that scandalo. Everything falls apart. There's chaos everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, there's no way to save the situation. We need a divorce. It's definitely something that you would consider. It's definitely something that happens. Some people like the drama. And such a person, imagine them being paired up with a person who has known bliss their entire lives. They haven't exactly gone into any chaotic relationships. They had healthy breakups. They were like normal people, not neurodivergent, like not neurodivergent individuals who suffer from any kind of um, mental illness. And they're just perfectly fine, perfectly normal. And then you're in a relationship. They're going to be so oblivious to so many things, and they will not understand a single thing that you're going through. Then the heart wants what the heart wants, doesn't it? Many a times, when it comes to relationships, there are always a lot of people who have great advice. Not because their advice is good. Generally, if you want to advise people on relationships, it's really easy. Honestly, it's really easy. You put one plus one. What does it give you? Two. That's an easy answer, right? So how do you make a person feel okay in a relationship? You're closer, pay more attention, do more of the stuff they want to do. I mean, how hard is it to come up with counsel for that? Really? Like, to keep people together, you do not need a degree to do that because you can figure it out with logic. And even if you're not the best kind of person with advice, you can understand that a trial and error is more than enough to make way. And you cannot, and no one can say that you're wrong. Just think of the most logical answer to what can I do to make my wife feel happy? Just go around, think of it. Just think of it. You don't need a master's degree to do that. You don't. You can think about it and you would come up with a solution. If you're alone, you probably think about it a lot because then you're trying to be the person that everyone would want, right? So you're going to be in your head trying to figure out ways to make your woman happy with the decision to be with you. That's no one is judging that. No one is saying that that is bad, but it still comes down to the person that you are. Every chaotic thing that they do in your life to erupt, bond, destroy your entanglement. It's just probably a desperate cry for help, right? Might be. Or it probably bothers them that you don't want chaos as well. You're devoted, you're kind, understanding. You forgive them all the time. You don't throw a tantrum or punch them in the face. You're like so good, like you're an angel, and they want the devil. They want the devil because they've been seeing the devil over and over and over. Every relationship that they've been in, it's just an asshole makes them think that they world. But those assholes have tempers. Those assholes do not have good characters. Those assholes have left them in the ditch for more than once. And so they expect it out of every person they share a bed with. And when you become the unique one, you treat them right. That goes the wrong way. It makes them feel awkward. It's like, okay, Mr. Right. I guess you're the only person in the world who can do good, huh? So then they plunge into their own chaos. If you will not provide the chaos, they will. Because they have established that there's supposed to be chaos in a relationship. And if it's less than what they've received in the past, they would have more than a preemptive notion to go about bring that chaos. And which makes you wonder, what exactly do you need to be in a relationship? What do you need to do? Go to the Eiffel Tower, go to some bridge somewhere and lock a padlock on a wall that has never, meant anything to anyone. Toss a coin into a wishing well, or try Pilates, go to the gym, do yoga. Try and figure out whatever way you can to salvage whatever relationship that you have. A lot of people give you a lot of advice, man. They would tell you a number of ways how you can salvage a relationship, especially when someone has cheated on you. Yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of counsel, but there are two ways this goes. The two types of counsels that come from having to face cheating in a relationship is the one that involves you going through with being with the person who cheated on you, even with the knowledge that they actually did it. It's doing that or breaking away. Now, breaking away might not be healthy all the time because breaking away is just going to it's like leaving the shipyard without being fully stocked. No closure, no nothing whatsoever. You just like, oh my God, they broke up with me. Cancel. You just cancel the relationship and then you're gone. It's like you didn't ask for any explanation. You don't ask them why. And there are just so many subcategories when it comes to relationships and moving on when you experience cheating in it. It might be you cheating, it might be your spouse who cheated, but um, there's always that action of what to do after that happens. You can't cry over it all day long. You can't be sad about it, but you can move on. So if you do decide to stick with this person that you chose, then it means you're going to have to understand what happened and why this person cheated on you in the first place. They could have done it because they were drunk. They could have done it because they lost something, not from you, probably from themselves. And they didn't know how to explain it to you. Or they have a dark side that you're not aware of. Someone else is. And they're willing to satisfy that desire for as long as they live. So, in a situation like that, they're under no obligation to tell you because they do not want the image that they've created for you change. And that could be tricky. You still want to be with that person? Fine. But maybe there is a limit to what she chooses to reveal to you. Maybe you think that, oh, if I wait long enough, surely you will confide in me. Patience, great, but not for everything. Just know and understand that your mental health is on the line. As we talked about the two, if you decide to break up with the person and leave without getting any closure, your mind could constantly keep going back to it and keep asking you questions. Eventually, if you're not careful with the amount of feedback you're getting from no closure, you're going to go back into that relationship again, feeling as if you over you you made it big situation when it really you exaggerated. That's what I wanted to say. You exaggerated. And it's good enough to give a second go. It looks like that. But bro, it's because you didn't get closure. That's why it's happening. So you need to fortify what it is that happened and understand. Now, maybe some of you have principles when it comes to cheating. It's like if she cheats, she belongs to the streets. That's valid, if she breaks your heart and she goes in with another guy, it's probably best not to, go after her anymore. But some of you are so understanding, so loving, so forgiving. Oh my gosh, they are the absolute carbon copies of our Lord Jesus Christ. Forgive them, for they do not know what they do. You welcome them back with open arms, no matter who came on their face. You're willing to accept them, even though you shared a pussy with someone who probably never gave it to you enough times. But it's okay. It's okay because you're understanding and it helps. Like being understanding to that level maybe takes biggest simp or probably the most enlightened one. It's two ways. But what matters is the character inside you. Because as far as things go, the person who chooses to embrace the cheater will always have something. Some people they would embrace the cheater only that they could go and do the same thing to them. Revenge. It's like you hit me where it hurts, I hit you where it hurts. Let's do it. That's a whole ass theme for them. And there are also those who are genuinely forgiving you because they think in their heart they're never gonna find someone else like you. They're desperate. want you because you're the only person in this world that looked at them and did not see a piece of trash. So they're like handicapped. She leaves me. She leaves me all alone. No one will ever want me. Harry Potter is dead. No, wrong. Rotation. Point is, some people can't even get out of a relationship, even when they face is someone cheating, even when they face their better half cheating, because they don't know what to do. Relationship, maturity, it all goes hand in hand. When people try so hard to jump into relationships, you're young. You have your entire life ahead of you. And before you know it, they jump into the first relationship that they see. They don't work on themselves, they don't do shit. Then they come up with all these ridiculous laws and lists that they have for themselves because they're the queens and kings of the fucking earth. And they deserve the gold, the diamonds, and the best boyfriends. And when their heart gets broken, then they think that the world is a scary place. It's not a scary place. You jumped into the water before it even got warm. You made a conclusion. You were wrong. You could admit it and try and work on yourself, but you don't. Sometimes I feel like when the kids of today make their own conclusion about what relationships are, they're not going to get a lot of confident, a lot of trustworthy material because everyone's doing their own thing. When it comes to relationship and the amount of advice given, I can tell you that there are a million people who made books around them. There are TV shows about them. There are movies about them. And I can assure you, you can take each and every step that you can find from any of these media that you find. Take them, do them, and they will fail. You know why they will fail? Because they're not you. You're not like Ryan Reynolds. You're not like Ryan Gosling. Hell, you are not the guy you imagined in your story. You're definitely not a magazine model that has in millions and is in a relationship with a billionaire who loves no drama. You're just you. But you don't seem to want to look for what you want, do you? You want what everyone wants. They say that in a relationship, you must have a man that respects you, a man that treats you like a goddess. And then over there, you hear, a man is supposed to treat a woman as his equal. Yeah. When the bill comes, we share it, we split the bill. Yeah. Then there are the others. Men are supposed to serve women. In a relationship, there should be the arguer and pacifist. There are so many laws, so many rules that people have made for relationships because they feel like they know what's best. They've been in a relationship, so they know what's best for you. Like as in they. The person who is writing the book on the relationship has been in a relationship, and so they know what's best for you. Because technically, all relationships are the same. Now, yes, it comes to the fact that there are those that would be similar, and so you could siphon off knowledge from them and use it to adjust yours. But the problem here is not the fact that one person decides to go and learn more about other couples and other relationships. Is that they don't do it together. One goes to take it from a different book, another goes to take it from a different book. Then y'all come together and you have different ideas and you want to try everything. But y'all don't. Y'all don't. You argue. You make your statements, you use the techniques that are in your unique books, but it never really works because you're going for different techniques at the same time. Being a marriage guidance counselor for couples would be a crime for me because it would only inspire me to make your relationship worse just so that it can get better. Because one thing that a perfect relationship has is chaos. Chaos brings the peace. There has to be a way to vent. If there's no way to vent, it ruptures and it breaks everything apart. And then you're right back to where you started, alone. People don't think about, do they? They always want the easy way out. Perfect guy, perfect girl. I don't have to worry about anything in the world because he's hot, rich, and in love with this bitch. Well, guess what, bitch? That doesn't work. You'll come to find that whatever relationship that you're in, whatever uncertainty you face when dealing with a person in your life that is special, you will always come to terms with the fact that they are not perfect. They do not hold the golden globe award for perfect person on this planet. So adjusting should be the major thing. But you have to ask yourself if you're ready to adjust. Because sometimes the adjustments cause the break. Adjustments cause you to crumble. Most people think that they know what they want. It's an illusion what you want. Because once you get it, you will just end up wanting something else. So it's probably the message behind it, the thought. Why do you want something like that? Oh, because back in my day, that was the only way that love could be expressed by getting your girlfriend a bunch of flowers. Means that you care. Hug her for a longer period of time to show her deep embrace that comes from your love. Be willing to try new things with her. Unless, of course, you decide to do a threesome, in which case, I don't know, it's up to you guys. Uh, but y'all need to understand that the concept of relationships is so unique. You can't do it with just him or just her. You need a third entity. It could be whichever deity that you think is okay. Because tying the bun, doing the work, being in a relationship is a job on its own. Not to talk about raising the children. It's a world, whole new world. But people don't want to think of it that way, you know. Every time we talk about relationships, someone could come up with a really good excuse to not want to involve themselves. You know what I used to do? I used to ignore counseling for relationships. They purposefully had these talks about relationships in our class, and it wasn't just us, it was with our teachers. I was like, eventually you all are gonna be in relationships. And it's like I was furious because I was like, no, I don't want that shit. Miss me with that shit. And it seemed like it was true. At least it seemed to me like it was true. But it wasn't. The advice that they gave was solid. But I always had an excuse for that, even whether I listened or did not listen. It was not something that was on my mind day and night. It was something that I listened to, and hopefully I wished it would go to the other ear. But it ended up sticking. And then you start to have friends that have relationship problems. And then you tell it helps them. Their lives gets better. But eventually they break up. Was it your fault? No. You just copy and pasted whatever it is that you knew. You offered a helping hand. You made the relationship last longer. Congratulations, but you did not solve the problem. That's what I'm telling you right now. If your relationship requires you to go read a book, go find a piece of material that is going to help your relationship get better, then maybe doing too much. Maybe your effort is misdirected because some people hop up on all the knowledge and they never do it. They think of all the things, all the ways to make their wives feel better, but they never do it. They become librarians to the best kind of books on the planet about relationships, but they never use it. They never siphon the energy that they have obtained in their brains to make their relationships better. They just cast it out because they don't need, they think they want to do it, but then they get lazy and throw it away. And you can't blame them. At this point in our lives, it might seem like relationships aren't necessary. You've seen billionaires before. Billionaires are not very forthcoming with their wives, are they? Because just they just end up breaking up and then they split the billions. And then you look at them as like, well, he's got the money to pay for it. The debate on whether or not the other spouse deserves the money that's given to them doesn't matter. But if we have become so cattle that it's only money that drives our ambition, then maybe we all deserve to be single and die, you know? But what do I know? I'm just a guy with a microphone. And this is going to be the end of our session. Thank you so much for watching. This is Young Titan here talking about relationships, why they get screwed. Young Titan now. Thanks for watching.